Recently, the former governor of Edo State, the person of Adams Oshiomole, now Senator Adams Oshiomole, came to the house and was talking about NEPA, PACN, BEDC, or whatever name you call it in your area. He was trying to defend the fact that, oh, they are not doing well. That man, they talk for himself. He was actually talking about himself because the thing don't hit him. You see what is our evil leaders? If something not hit them, they're not going to remember.
I could never have imagined as it is today that a private person will collect money for services he did not render. Even we here as privileged class have had to buy the transformer that I use here in the heart of Abuja. And to install it, I have to persuade, negotiate, and even effect payment to Abuja distribution, whatever, to connect the transformer I have procured personally with my resources. And hereafter, this transformer becomes the property of the disco. And every month, I am asked to pay bill on brand A or whatever.
Under your transformer.
Like you said, sir.
Now, he's complaining about the electricity companies, the way they distribute light, how we go buy transformer by ourselves, and at the end of the day, they will claim what we buy. Even him, they don't hit him. Now make they come now, they talk. As they talk, people they praise, 3 boza for Oshiomole. No boza for Oshiomole. Because you've been there as governor, you've been there as APC chairman, you are now a senator. You make sure say you bring governor come Edo State by fire by force, where the matter still dey court. How can you? Okay, now they break. Now they break Oshiomole. Where be say when this thing will dey suffer, if we won't get light for NEPA, now we go buy transformer by ourselves. Now we go buy wire by ourselves. Now we go even give NEPA money when they call connector. If they don't connector finish, NEPA will claim and stand at their own. And at the end of the day, we go start to pay bills. What kind of country are we? The gods are really angry. In get time we go reach, all these are our governors, all these are our head of whatever, any position where you did, the gods will begin to buy one by one. Because that is the only way. Una don't do us. We Nigerians, we keep quiet. Any time for election, we'll come out, come forward, make sure say, but una know they play on our own part. Now, Juju be that I be waiting. They cost us.
Every state governors, or most, spend public funds, buy transformers for communities. And then you still have to contribute money. Many of us, very soon, when we go back to the electorate, they are going to tell us that for 1 year, for 2 years, they've had no light. What is the problem? No transformer. And then they ask you a senator to go and buy the transformer. You look for the money, you buy the transformer. And then they say, NEPA says you have to pay for them to connect the transformer to their grid. If cables are 40, you buy the cable for them to install it. Even right now, I have requests from several communities asking me to buy the transformer and to get them connected. And yet, sir, the key element in distribution is transformer and cables, among others. So if these ones are now being procured by state government using public funds and individuals using their personal resources, what is the cost that these discos are incurring? Now, worse, the money they claim to have paid, because the logic of privatization was to inject private capital into these services. In truth, they went to borrow from Nigeria depositor funds in various banks, thereby killing some of those banks who have now become the liability of AMCON, which itself is also a contradiction about the logic of free market. And what they have borrowed, Mr. President, since the privatization took place, what they have borrowed through CBN and other sources is 10 times more than the amount they claim to have paid to become owners of those discos. Lastly, sir, as things stand, discos own no more than 60%, quote, own. So it is arguable where the total money you have borrowed from public sources is more than your private capital, whether you can still claim to be privately owned. 40% as we speak still belong to the federal government. But sir, there are no governing councils. There is no governing board for this discourse. So federal government owns 60% of a business and it has no say in the board of those companies. So there is no corporate governance. The one of Edo is owned by a pharmacist. The wife is a banker. The pharmacy becomes the chairman. The banker becomes the MD. They mismanage Edo economy, Delta economy, Ondo economy, Ekiti economy, and we are down right now in crisis. Even I, sir, that I don't live in Benin, my bill every month, I can't even afford it. So, Mr. President, I support the motion by my very good friend who lost an earlier motion, thanks to the vigilance of Mr. Senate President and your commitment to protect the poor. But this motion can benefit from a radical review